Hey guys, I thought I'd shake it up a little bit this week, and I'm going to do a video instead of a week in smoke. It seems like the week in smoke is something I'm always doing. It just fits in with my schedule well. But you got to make a point to actually go out and spend a little extra time with a particular cigar. And just a lot of people like the video on the site too. So I'm picking. Hopefully it'll come through okay. We do this little hand thing that everybody seems to do that it works out so incredibly well. I'm doing the Dante Vita Nova, which is a brand that's owned by Mike Huff and I believe one other guy. I forget his name off the top of my head, but they provided the cigars to me. Mike did, and for the purposes of review. And I think this is my last one, so hopefully everything goes off smoothly, or otherwise we're gonna have an ugly video. Let's see here. So with this cigar, it's all Nicaraguan. It's got a Nicaraguan Corojo wrapper and just unspecified Nicaraguan binder and filler. In terms of the name, obviously Dante is a reference to Dante Alighieri. I think that's how you say his name. The author that's an Italian, basically poet from the Middle Ages, who's known mostly for his work, the Divine Comedy, specifically the part on the Inferno with the circles of hell and such. But this one, the Vita Nova, is named after Vita Nuova or something like that. I'm not sure. It's very similarly spelled and probably very similarly pronounced. It's a work of it's another one of his works. I think it's what I found. It's from like 1295, so you get an idea of how old this reference is. What I read about it is it's quote an expression of the medieval genre of courtly love, which probably doesn't translate into anything anybody really wants to read so much these days. But I don't know, anybody who reads Jane Austen or anything period piece-ish would probably be kind of into that. So anyway, yeah, I think that covers it. So this is the Robusto size. Yeah, whatever. It's a 5 by 50, and the official name of the Vitola is Canto 3, and Canto being the chapters or the sections in Dante's works. I think that covers it. Yes. So I'm going to light this guy up, drink a little more coffee, so I'm even more wired, and we'll get going.
Okay, guys, I'm back. Apologize about the earlier sections audio. I forgot about my headset unit. I'm a little rusty. I haven't done any of these videos in a while, so you'll have to be forgiving on that. So I'm a little ways into it, and I didn't really go over kind of initial inspections before, so I figured I'd cover those now because I did do them. It's a pretty good looking cigar. It's not super dark, a little rustic. It's got fine-ish, medium-ish veins. And it was pretty consistently firm. I noticed when I pulled it out of the cellophane, it had a pretty dense, chocolatey, little barnyardy type of aroma. Maybe a touch of sweetness to it, but it's it's one of these things I notice. As cigars sit outside of the cellophane for a little while, the aroma gets so much sweeter. Just really just changes so much. It's really interesting how that works. But that's neither here nor there. That's kind of across the board. So I've had a little more coffee, little working on some Bustelo here, the Supreme, which some people have asked me about since I started drinking it and mentioned it on social media. It's like Bustelo, but it's better. It's a little brighter, a little richer, or not richer. I don't think would be the right word. It's a little more complex. I like it. If you like Bustelo, look into Bustelo Supreme. It'll cost you a few more bucks, but I think it's worth it. I think it's good. So yeah, my initial thoughts is the first few puffs off this thing. It was pretty spicy, pretty kind of a really dense earthiness, just a little bit like you could tell it smoked like something that hadn't opened up yet. Obviously, just started, so I get just a little tiny bit of sweetness in the background, but and it's kind of gotten more peppery in the little bit of puffing I've done. But it's so early, it's really hard to, make any kind of judgment calls even on this third, but I thought I'd come in and mention all that. I should also say that this well, let me take a puff first here. Anyway, I should also say that there are, I believe, are 4 different vitolas for the Vita Nova. The Robusto, which I have, the 5x50, the Toro 6.5x52, a Corona Gorda 5.5x46, and a Gordo 5.5x60. If my copy and paste skills are up to snuff. And I guess that's I think that's about covers it. I have not secured the MSRP on this smoke. Again, these were samples, so I've not actually seen them for sale in the wild yet. And I have a question into Mike and see. Hopefully, if he gets back to me before this goes live, I will update the post. So and even if he doesn't, I'll just go in and edit it. Who cares, right? All right, I'm going to keep smoking this thing a little bit further, and we'll see you in a minute. All right, I'm back, and so I've smoked a little bit farther into this, and the ashes are, I mean, the burn line's good. The ashes are pretty solid. You know, a little bit of cracking, but nothing to complain about. They'll hold on for the half or so inch or whatever I would typically let them go before tapping them off. In terms of before I get into anything else, I actually heard back from Mike very quickly. So the MSRP on this is $9 on this. So this is the Canto 3, the Robusto. Let's see here. So in terms of flavor, which is the important part here, it's been really earthy. It's continued to be very earthy. It points early, right after I got off the last bit of footage there, the last segment, there was kind of an earthiness that was a little reminiscent of like a T52, a little on the muddy side, pretty dense, but as it's gone along, it's kind of opened up, and there's been a little more complexity. The pepper's grown a little bit. The sweetness, there's a syrupiness now that wasn't there before, so that's grown a little tiny bit. Turn off that thing. Don't want any buzzing. There's some notes in there that I like. I really do like that are starting to come out, and I've noticed in other times I've smoked this, a little bit of a graham cracker thing that I really enjoy, and just kind of like, the sweetness that sometimes is just a little on the syrupy side, and other times is just more like a dried fruit, like maybe a raisin type of thing. Not so much prunish, but somewhere in there. So it's becoming more than it was. It was kind of a one-note thing to start off with, and it's opening up a little bit. It's kind of coming into its own right now. So I don't want to ramble too long, but so far so good, actually. So I'll just keep going. We'll talk to you in a minute. All right, guys. I think it's time to wrap this thing up. The burn has been great. I haven't taken the band off. I just slid it down a little bit, but we're pretty close to the end. It's been even. The ashes have been pretty solid. I mean, no real issues there. In terms of flavor, which again, that's the important thing. Flavor is king. I mean, I've noticed that the more complex flavors that I found midway in, around the previous segment, they kind of went away. There's a little, the spices that I got a little bit at the beginning seem to have returned somewhat. It's kind of gone back to the kind of earthiness. I've gotten a little bit of that kind of almost muddy, earthy thing for a little ways I smoke it. But right now, I have a little bit of the dried fruit for just a little bit, but that sweetness is mostly gone. Right now, it's kind of more of a savory black tobacco, pepper, little herbal, that sort of thing. Not even the really kind of creamy earth thing that I was getting. I'm not really even so much getting much of the earthiness now. It's just more of that. Straight up, maybe a touch of coffee, but I've been drinking some coffee, so I'm going to discount that a little bit. Um, yeah, I would say the Dante uh, Nuvo. Well, hold on, let me look at the name again. Vita Nova. I was going to get that completely wrong. I don't know why I have trouble with that. Um, I would say it's a good cigar. I'd say this is a good smoke. It doesn't have the wow factor that Jerry talks about. I think it's good though. I enjoy smoking it. I don't have an issue with that. Um, it's definitely on the fuller side for people who are looking for that or looking to avoid it. Either way, yeah, no real complaints. It's solid. It's not amazing, but it's solid. It's a good smoke. It's you could do a lot worse. There's a lot of stuff out there that doesn't come close to being as good as this is at that level of fullness. But yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say. Good smoke. Give it a shot if you find it, and we'll talk to you later.